Hi, I'm Matt Murdock, and I want to represent you. I know you have your choice of lawyers, so let me tell you 3 things that will make you want to hire me to represent you in a court of law.
Mad fact number 1.
I am not Daredevil. I will not leave in the middle of our case to go fight a morbidly obese crime lord. The last time I tried to fight crime, I ended up seriously hurting myself. But on the bright side, that little 9-year-old will think better before bringing a squirt gun to a block party.
Mad fact number 2.
I am not Ben Affleck. To differentiate between the two of us, I've put on 150 pounds and grown this beard, so you know I will not be called away in the middle of your court case to direct a movie or make love to Jennifer Garner. Damn it.
Mad fact number 3.
I am not sensitive about being blind, so you can make whatever tasteless jokes you want at my expense. All I care about is representing you. So remember the 3 mad facts. Number 1, I am not Daredevil. Number 2, I am not Ben Affleck. Number 3, I am not sensitive about being blind. So remember to call the law offices of Foggy Nelson and Matt Murdock. If Foggy picks up, hang up and call again in an hour. And enjoy the show. Hi everyone, welcome back to Comic Book Issues. I'm your host, The Last Angry Geek. Hey, in the wake of Spider-Man One More Day, unending event fatigue, and the DCNU, I've had to keep a positive mental attitude. Just like Daredevil, who, after years of dark stories and falling as low as he possibly could, is back in a new ongoing series. Writer Mark Waid has promised that this series will be much lighter and more upbeat in tone than we're used to seeing in the last few years. Is the Marvel Universe ready for a happy-go-lucky Hornhead? Let's find out as we review the first 3 issues of Daredevil.
After having his secret identity exposed to the public, being thrown in jail, and finally taking over the ninja sect known as the Hand, Matt Murdock hit rock bottom when he was possessed by a demon and tried to wreak havoc on New York. Now after turning over Hell's Kitchen to the Black Panthers, just one Black Panther, Matt's back in New York and ready to restart his life as both Daredevil and one of New York's best lawyers. After a brief 1-page origin that recaps who Daredevil is, we cut to the cloisters in New York. Daredevil's gotten a tip that a kidnapping is going to happen at a mafia wedding.
At this point, I would like to point out that there is absolutely no proof that the mafia actually exists, and for no reason should anyone send the police to my studios. Oops, I have to go now.
Sure enough, the C-list villain, the Spot, attempts to grab the flower girl. Daredevil grabs her and gets a good look at and through Spot with his radar sense. He screams out to the mafioso there that this was an inside job, and hears the heartbeat spike in one Sal Donorati. He outs Sal as the insider, who then puts the blame on the Spot, who proceeds to snap Sal's neck. Matt returns the flower girl and steals a kiss from the bride before getting sucked into one of the Spot's teleportation holes. We then cut to the front page of the Daily Bugle, which shows both the kiss and a defeated Spot. Matt Murdock is trying to buy a coffee, but keeps getting pestered about Daredevil's most recent adventure by the vendor. Matt denies everything and heads into court, meeting his partner, Foggy Nelson, and dodging a throng of reporters who want to know about Daredevil. In the courtroom, Matt is defending a Mr. Jobrani, a Muslim shop owner who was beaten by the police. However, at every turn, the defense attorney turns things back to Daredevil. Finally, the judge is fed up and calls for continuance, suggesting to Jobrani that he hire a new lawyer. Getting some fresh air, Matt meets the new assistant DA, Kirsten McDuffie. She makes no bones about knowing Matt is Daredevil, something he continues to deny at every opportunity. She also suggests that despite being an easy win in court, Mr. Jobrani has had trouble finding legal representation. Matt switches into his Daredevil suit and begins to look into Mr. Jobrani's past, but before he can get far, his radar sense hits upon someone aiming a rifle at him. The gun fires off radar chaff, leaving him blind to his surroundings.
Well, more blind to his surroundings. Blinder?
With the realization that this attack was custom-made for him, Daredevil is seemingly oblivious to the fact that Captain America's shield is heading towards his head. Issue 2 opens with Matt just barely ducking the shield and catching it. He recognizes Captain America, who says he's here to arrest Daredevil. They take their fight inside one of those conveniently abandoned warehouses that always show up in fiction. Daredevil is shocked by Cap's forthright approach and relates it to pressure stemming from the trial of his ex-sidekick Bucky, something Steve Rogers denies. Daredevil points out that, like Bucky, he too was a puppet for an evil master while committing his recent crimes in Shadowland. He asks Cap for time, as he believes Mr. Jobrani is unaware of the danger he's really in. Captain America agrees for now, but Daredevil will need to settle with him later. Meanwhile, Kirsten finds Foggy tearing his office apart looking for something. Kirsten shares some information she discovered about Ahmed with Foggy before returning his tie. He apparently left it behind after, quote-unquote, last night.
Thank you, Foggy Nelson. Thank you for giving hope to chubby, average-looking men everywhere. I salute you, sir.
Daredevil goes to question a well-known lawyer about why he turned down Ahmed's case. The lawyer eventually confesses that he received a phone call with a whispering voice threatening his boyfriend. Daredevil has heard the same story from other lawyers he's questioned. Daredevil asks if Mr. Jabrani ever mentioned what he'd do with the money if he won the case. This leads him to Ahmed's electronics store, which had to close due to the recession, and which Mr. Jabrani has been planning on reopening with his court winnings. The building has been taken over by clones of the Marvel villain, the Claw.
Curse you, Gadget. If you'll excuse me, I have to go cough up blood now.
In actuality, they're imperfect clones which are missing strips of their very being. As the Claw is living sound, Daredevil's heightened senses are stunned. He touches one, alerting them all to his presence. He beats one of the Claws only for them to produce a sonic feedback that overwhelms his overly sensitive ears. Daredevil passes out, and when he wakes up, he finds himself strapped into the harness the Claws have been building. Trapped in the machine, Matt begins to work out how he can escape when someone comes down the stairs. It's another Claw, but one with a more human component.
It's the new Cadbury Claw. The great taste of villain now with a chewy human center.
This Claw introduces himself to Daredevil, who last remembers hearing the Claw had been turned into a sound wave blasted into space. We cut to Foggy confronting Mr. Jabrani. Apparently, Ahmed failed to tell his lawyers that he'd been hearing voices, something Foggy discovered in the psych evaluation that Kirsten showed him earlier. As neither man is aware of the Claw's manipulations, Foggy tells Ahmed he's an unreliable witness and no lawyer will touch his case. This Claw explains that he was an audio clone created during a battle with the Avengers, but managed to escape. Without the real Claw to rejoin with, he's begun to dissipate until he was discovered by mysterious benefactors who helped him devise this technology, an antenna to find the Claw in space and draw him back to Earth. Daredevil is the human core the Claw will be formed around. Matt dislocates his thumb, but manages to get his left hand free and pull out his billy club. He screams, temporarily stunning the sound clones, and breaks free of the machine. The clones follow, recombining into one body as Matt heads to the roof to destroy the antenna. Before he can damage it, he's knocked back by a sound wave and realizes they're coming for the head harness glowing with energy. Another blast blows him into traffic, and his radar sense is blinded just as the Claw clone rises behind him. As the clone falls apart, Matt shatters the harness, ending the Claw's threat. He tries to get the name of the clone's benefactors, but can't hear over the static of the creature's death. Back at their loft, Matt's upset to find Foggy dismissed Jabrani. It was such a slam-dunk case that almost anyone could have won it, leading both Matt and Foggy to the same conclusion. The lawyers then meet with Ahmed and offer to advise him on how to defend himself in court. Jabrani is reluctant, but has no better options available. It's a nerve-wracking ride, but eventually Mr. Jabrani wins his court case. Celebrating the win at the bar, Foggy and Matt now have enough money to hire a legal staff. Bragging to two beautiful women, Matt lets them know that they have a new business, advising people without lawyers how to defend themselves in court, much to Foggy's shock.
So those are the first 3 issues of Daredevil. Hey, it's been a rough ride for Matt Murdock after the last decade or so. He's had his girlfriend killed by Bullseye, been outed to the public as a superhero, gone to jail, had his wife get institutionalized and then divorced from him. He thinks his best friend is dead, and on top of that gets possessed by a demon and unleashes a criminal ninja sect on New York. So one could argue that a kinder, gentler Daredevil has long been overdue. But did it work? Let's take a look at Daredevil number 1 through 3.
First off, I will say that everything worked logically in this story. I like that writer Mark Waid isn't simply ignoring everything that happened before. Most everyone still suspects that Matt Murdock is Daredevil, and the heroes still know he was responsible for the Shadowland. What I felt didn't work was this new positive mental attitude of Matt's. Also included in the first issue is a bonus story by Mark Waid and Marcos Martin. In it, he and Foggy travel through New York, and Matt explains how he deals with his powers before finally laying it out that he's dealing with all the crap over the last few years by not dealing with it. It's the only way he could stay sane. Again, logical, but when I read Daredevil, I've come to expect a dark book with a serious noir overtone. Maybe it's unfair of me to have expectations for any title, but in all truthfulness, I never felt the need for Daredevil to lighten up. As for the actual story, I enjoy the use of Claw as a villain. The fact that a man made of sound is taking on a blind hero is a good match. I also like that Matt couldn't tell who or what the Claw was until the clone identified himself. Mark Waid really also conveyed how painful and overwhelming heightened senses could be. In interviews, Waid also promised Matt would find some other way to practice law besides being a lawyer. The idea of Foggy and Matt now coaching people how to defend themselves is novel, but I'm not sure how long you can run with it. I mean, you don't tune into a legal show to watch the lawyers just sit down and observe a trial.
As for the artist Paulo Rivera, sorry, some terrible memory is tied to Paulo Rivera, but, oh God, the memories are coming back! Okay, I'm going to be real generous here. I give Spider-Man One Moment in Time half a star. And that is only for Paulo Rivera's art. This guy is a superstar in the making. It's just a shame that his first high-profile work had to be this donkey turd of a story. Damn you, Quesada. Will I never be free?
The art for the main story is perfect. Paulo Rivera's art is well suited for this book. He's great at drawing regular people doing amazing things. I almost think his art wouldn't work for the grander, more out-there characters like the X-Men. That's not me disrespecting him. It's just that drawing the more human characters seems to be his niche. The new art style really suits this new mood, so I'll say that this is a case of the art being perfectly suited to the writer.
So the art is perfect for Daredevil, and I did like the new character of Kirsten. Many people are really enjoying this book, but I'm just not one of them. That's not to say I disliked anything about it, it just never really grabbed me. I give Daredevil number 1 through 3, 2 out of 5 stars. This book just wasn't for me, but if you're able to get past the radical change in tone, you could really enjoy this title. And thanks for joining me, folks. I'm The Last Angry Geek, and I'll see you here next time on Comic Book Issues.